So we have a case study using the Site to Do Business website, analyzing a market area for a client who owns two computer electronic stores in the Istanbul area. So I'm going to zoom into Istanbul. His stores are located on the Europe side near the Yıldız Teknik University. So if I want to locate the university, Yıldız Teknik University, here's the university location. His stores are located on the southern side of the university. So the first thing we're going to do is plot the location of his stores on the map by going to my search bar, entering the address. Here's one of his two stores. We're going to create a site, a trade area, which your client has determined is based within a 5-minute drive time of the store. And his typical sales peak period is weekday evenings. So we're going to use more options, driving time toward the facility, using traffic based upon traffic conditions for, we'll use Monday at 6 p.m. and click apply. And it creates a trade area for one of his two stores. I've already saved the other store using the same methodology. So we'll load that onto the map as well. Let's see. So I've got two stores. Store one is original store, and store two, the store we just plotted. So here are his two locations. You can see their proximity to the university. What we want to do is analyze the current potential of demographic, sales, age, and purchasing power of the area and how the two stores currently compare. So to do that, we're going to create what's called a smart map search, where we can use multiple variables to analyze a market area. So the variables we're going to use include an age variable. So we're going to use the primary customer, which is aged 15 to 29. So we're going to use the total count of population aged 15 to 29 as our first variable. Second variable is the income level. And here we're going to look at purchasing power per capita using an index tied to the national average for Turkey. The third variable we're going to use is a spending variable. In this case, spending for consumer electronics, IT equipment. I'm going to look at my variables again. So I've got total population, age 15 to 29, an index of purchasing power, and total electronic sales. I'm going to apply those variables to the map now. All right. And so now what I can do is adjust those variables to isolate the combined demographic and income levels and sales of my targeted location. All right. So I want to have at least I want to have higher electronic sales. So let's say at least 150,000 Turkish lira uh, per year of computer sales, so I can adjust there. You can see areas start to disappear from the map. And by the way, these areas are postal codes. So these are geographic areas defined by postcodes. I'm looking for purchasing power of at least 110, which ties to the national average, 100 being Turkey, 110 being 10% higher purchasing power than the overall Turkish average. And then finally, I'm going to look at population of at least 30,000 of this age group. I want at least 30,000 individuals aged 15 to 29 in my trade area. You can see that based on the first two stores and how they compare to the larger area around the university, they're not optimally located. Those areas that are still shaded, shown on the map, would have a higher potential of combined age group, income levels, purchasing power levels, and electronic sales. So if you look at the map, perhaps the area he should focus on and remain in close proximity to the university is north of the university. So we're going to look at a potential store site number 3, which I've already plotted. Let me bring that into the map. Using the same drive time analysis, 5 minutes, evening at 6 p.m., here's store number 3. And you can see how this compares now to the other 2 existing client stores. You can see it has a higher amount of market area within the postal code that indicates a better potential location. So if we want to focus on the now store number 3 market area, I'm going to now clear the smart map search. Right? I'm going to open store number 3, the 5-minute drive time. I'm going to run some infographic reports. So infographics are a summary of different variables within a 5-minute drive time of store number 3. You can see the total population is almost 90,000. There's 24,000 households. They're 9% household size larger than the Turkish average, which is an index of 109, 11% higher than the Turkish average for purchasing power. You can see that that equals 157,000 Turkish lira. Here's my average household size. Dependency ratio is the percentage of individuals under age 15 and over age 60. So there's 44% of individuals between those under age 15 or over age 60. So that's one variable. Another helpful variables to consider, for example, would be the what's in my community. This is a good one because it breaks down different types of variables. For example, lifestyle variables, learning, community, recreation, spiritual centers, public transportation. So for example, if you want to look at restaurants, we can open that up and it'll show you all the various restaurants within proximity to my store location. So it lists the name of the restaurant and the closest. And as you go further afield, further away, it also gives a listing of those locations. Another one I like is the spending infographic. So if you load that infographic, it gives you a population distribution, both male and female, showing you age. You can see this area is trending younger. 25% of the entire population is between are males 25%, females 25%. So in combined, 50% of the total population is in that 15 to 29. So this is a young demographic, right? You can see different spending variables as well that you can focus on. All right, so those are infographics. Next, what I'd like to do is see how the store number 3 compares to my existing 2 stores by doing an analysis called suitability analysis. So I'm going to run analysis, suitability analysis. I'm going to use my sites, my 3 sites. Here they are. I'm going to now look at my variables that I previously selected. So I'm going to select my criteria for my data browser using the same variables I used earlier. So I'm going to look at my age variable, population age 15 to 29. I'm going to look at my income variable. That was my purchasing power per capita index. And finally, I'm going to look at my spending variable. That was my 3rd one for computer electronic sales. Here they are, making sure they're all good. And I'm going to click apply. So after I've applied them, now I can adjust these by weighting, okay? So if I scroll down, I can click adjust weights here. Currently, since there's 3 variables, they're automatically adjusted at a weighting of 33% each. Let's say after interviewing my client, his most important weighting was 50% for population aged 15 to 29. So if I click done, and I can look at the results, there's a table of the results. I can actually download that table in Excel to analyze it further. And here's the Excel result. So you can see these are the rankings based on the weightings. Store number 3, the potential new store, has substantially more population of that demographic aged 15 to 29 compared to my original 2 stores. You can see that all 3 stores have a purchasing power index that is higher than the Turkish national average. So it's all 3 are fairly affluent areas. Store 3, however, is not as high as my existing 2 stores. However, if you look at the electronics spending, you can see store 3 definitely stands out and is much higher than stores 1 or 2. Taking into account the final score, store 3 has the highest potential weighting based on your client's criteria. So store 3 has the highest ranking of all 3 stores. All right, so store 3 is looking like a good choice. Let's analyze it a bit further. So I'm going to go back into my map. Right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a void analysis. So I'm going to look at what stores are currently in sites 2 and 3, or one of the existing that aren't in 1, that aren't in store 3. So what I can do is click run analysis, void analysis. And here a void analysis, I select my analysis area. So I'm going to select my store number 3 as my analysis area, and I'm going to compare it to a reference area. And in my reference area, I'm going to select store number 2 as a comparison, because store 2 is your client's currently highest performing store. So I'm going to click next. And I can use different types of retail, for example. And I can look at my full results. So this shows you the stores that are in site number 2 proximity that are not located in site 3, right? So you can get more information about those stores. There's a whole list of all retailers, not just computer retailers, that are all located in site number 2 that are not currently located in site 3. So a void analysis is a helpful tool to see what's currently not in site 3, right? Perhaps the most helpful, however, is to do what's called a point of interest search, looking at site number 3 specifically. So I'm going to clear some things on my map, including my void analysis and stores 1 and 2. And I'm going to focus only on store site number 3. I'm going to do a point of interest search under Create Maps, point of interest search. And I'm going to look at my current map, my site, points of interest for site number 3 specifically. All right. Then I'm going to look at my category. I'm going to look specifically for computer stores that may already be located in site number 3, so competitor stores. So I'm going to go to a category. I'm going to click advanced search. I'm going to search by category. And I'm going to enter my category name by scrolling down, focusing on retail categories. And then I'm going to find computers, computer electronic stores, and click search. So it's going to show all of the computer stores that are currently located in site number 3. And it's going to, I can also click a list showing me the name of those stores. It shows me a lot of information about the stores, the competitor stores. Here's the name of the stores, the address where it's known. I can also create a spreadsheet for that, for those stores. All right. So now that I've got that, I can zoom into my location. And I can also create a map showing not only streets, but I can actually do an imagery map of my specific location. And I can zoom in tighter. All right. So there's a lot of variables on analyzing site to do business that you can use to analyze markets in many different ways, whether it be demographics, competitive supply, sales potential, demand, forecast, and also existing supply. So hopefully that was helpful. And that concludes the case study.